Hey guys, welcome back. I am taking a moment because I've been an artist ever since I could pick up a pencil, right? I was always the type of person that didn't live up to their potential. Well, everything happens in God for God's plan, right? For His purpose and stuff. But ever since uh, ever since my awakening, everything I've been through in my life, uh, I told God that I would share my art with the world again one day. There's a whole backstory to why it was so hard for me. I had my art when I was homeless. I had my art taken from my whole portfolio, and there's a whole story behind it, but I don't want to get into it. But today, I'm going to share a piece with you that's very important to me. Uh, when we go through our awakening process, guys, okay, you start finding out and you try to identifying who you are. And with me, I had no one. I always knew. Excuse me. When I awoke, I had no one to help me. I had an ex that I was living with at the time. We weren't ex then. We were still involved, but they didn't want me to know who I was. It was sort of like they knew who I was before I knew who I was. So when I started my awakening process, I was looking online and doing my research and stuff, and Heyoka Empath came up, and I didn't just identify with it. I went through, and I always urge you to do this as well. Is if you feel something, right, research it. Ask yourself, is this me? Is this what's been going on? Because you'll know the truth. When you go to ask other people, right, you need to watch out for this because they'll gaslight you, especially if they can control you in some way, right? Or they have something to gain off of you being naive or shut out from the truth. They don't want to allow you, in other words, to find out who you are. Because if you did find out who you are, then they'd lose out. They'd lose control because then you'd be standing in your power. So, when I researched that and Heyoka Empath came up, I found it more than intriguing. It was something that pole vaulted me into a full blown awakening. Because I started finding out who I truly was, and then I'd have visions of past lives and stuff like that. So when I really found out that I wasn't just a Heyoka, I was much more than that. But when I found out an identity of who I was, and it took me like 3-4 months before I really grasped onto it. It was like, whoa, I'm more special than I ever gave myself credit for. I was reaching out for the wrong people, reaching out for the wrong information from the wrong individuals. So, an empath is truly what we are as healers, right? We're empathetic. We really feel other people's pain and agony, and a Heyoka is, they call it like the super empath and all that stuff, right? All that really cool things. But a Heyoka empath is something that is special because it goes to the shamanistic aspect of it. Because what Heyoka is, it stands for sacred clown, right? What we do as empaths, right, is we not mimic, but we reflect back to others who they are really, and they don't like it too much. It sometimes comes off as condescending almost, when it's actually you're reflecting back the person's personality. And sometimes if you're with a narcissist, this is big. If you're with a narcissist, right, if you don't watch out and you don't identify yourself, and if you're not grasping onto who you are, you'll lose yourself. They'll project onto you, right? Because a lot of times what narcissists do is they'll wait for you to smile and laugh before they do, because they're emotionally disconnected. They have to go on other people's cues in order to identify what the mode is and what the mood is, right? So I know this from experience. I was involved with a covert narcissist for over 7 years. I know these things, okay? And it's rough because you can start losing track of yourself. So it was sort of God shining his light down on me when I researched what an empath was, and then a Heyoka. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it is. This is why I am the way I am, the way I've always been, and it was freeing. It really, it broke me from bonds and chains that I felt comfortable in. So if I implore you, if you're with a narcissist, okay, and you know inside yourself you're not, don't fall for their projections. Don't let them second guess who you are. Research that. Heyoka is sometimes, and this is what I have found with being a Heyoka and much more, but just to touch on this, is that our paths are different. We won't just have twin flames, right? We're on a one-of-a-kind journey, right? We sometimes won't find our twin flames. Sometimes a narcissist or somebody else will try to fool us into thinking that they're our twin flame. That's another story. That's another thing for another time. But I'm just touching on my journey, okay? People will try to fool you into believing that they're the twin flame. All of these things, right? And Heyoka sometimes will not find their twin flame because we're here for a one of a kind purpose, on a one of a kind path. We are putting people's lives for a moment or a season. We're there to show them who they are. You know what I mean? And it's uncomfortable to some people. It truly is, and sometimes it activates demons what's inside them. But we don't just come across people involved with people just by coincidence. No, people we touch and people's lives we enter are for a reason, for a purpose. And it takes a while sometimes. You have to stand back and reflect and go deep, do a deep dive into what this person has put in your life for and what you've been put in their life for. I have been pulled into the whole twin flame thing and all that. It's a really cool sounding stuff. But what it is, it's agony and it's pain, right? But, what I was in was not a twin flame. I was fooled into that, because twin flames don't treat another twin flame the way I was. It was just a narcissist projecting their stuff onto me, and I was starting to identify with who they are. And if I hadn't got out, I probably would have ended up being a narcissist. I would have forgotten who I was, and my path would have been halted. So God shone down his mercy and his grace upon me to find out how cool it is to be a Heyoka. It's a badge of honor, but it can be painful. It's a painful journey, but if you get through it and you find out who you are and you celebrate it, it's a great journey. It really is. But this video is for the homage to Heyoka. The Heyoka, boom. That's a canvas I did about, about 2.5 months ago I did. If you can tell right here, I did more of like an African shaman type face mask, right? I did it in yellow because I really wanted to celebrate the royalty that we are, right? We've always been we've always been close to royalty. If we weren't royalty in a past life, we were close to royalty. We're there to heal. We were there to heal. We were there to heal monarchs. We were there to heal parts of very important people. Or we were in tribes. Like the Heyoka stands for sacred clown. I forget what tribe it came from, but that's what it stands for. It was like the shaman of the tribe. That's how they healed. They reflected back onto others who they are. It was like a deep journey that others would have to go on, right? There's a lot more to Heyoka, so research that more. I'm just giving you a short synopsis of what it is. But see, I did like a tribal face mask in yellow. I did a couple whiskers, really cool. And then I did, the light just shine out from it. I even did a cane down here, right? Or like a staff, right? Or a scepter even. So you have the world right here and the star you are. And I did it with the brick background. Yeah, so I just want to give you guys a little window into my art. You know, it's a passion I've always had, and you know, I will go a long ways with this. You know, like I said, I had a problem sharing my art, but you know, especially with 1,100 subscribers now, man. You guys have been so good to me, and I just wanted to give you a little bit more of why I do the art I do. There's always meaning behind it, and it's a passion of mine. Like I said, I've been doing it since I was, if I could pick up a pencil, you know. I always colored in the lines. I was never, you know, you'd open up a coloring book, it'd always be inside the lines. There was no no, I was always on point with that. And I had a time in my life where I had an addiction that really stunted my artistic abilities, you know. I could have prospered more, but what coulda, woulda, shoulda, that's then, this is now. This is a part of the healing process, right, guys? Is that we reach back into gifts and abilities that we had, and we threw aside because of destructive habits we had, and the people we surrounded ourselves with, you know, things like that. So anyways, I'll do it one more time here, guys. Anyways, guys, thank you for showing up and being here. So you got to see, yeah, just if you know, we're all empaths, okay? Those who are on a spiritual journey, we're all empaths. We're all able to read energies. We all feel energies, you know. But those on a healing, you know, it's more an empath. I don't want to divide, you know, empath in the spiritual realm of it, but from my experience as a healer, that's what I do. If it's not by my voice, not by my hands, it's through my art. I've always been a healer. See, and that's what a Heyoka is. A Heyoka will be a healer. That's our nature. Don't get it twisted like dark empaths and all that. No, there's no way a dark empath could ever be a Heyoka. No way. If they pretend to be, they're just narcissists projecting their stuff. That's all it is. There's no such thing as a dark Heyoka ever. You know, we're there to heal people. We're there to show people. You know, like I said, you can sometimes be in the room, don't even have to say a word, and you can heal people by either your energy or by the way you project back to people how they're acting, the way they truly are, you know? And sometimes it comes off as condescending, and, you know, what it is if somebody has a problem with you, right, if you're talking back to them, acting the way they're acting, right, mirroring that back to them, that means that you're activating their demons. Because you're just kind of, and it's not a chameleon thing, guys. It's not chameleon. It might, you know, that could go off as imposter syndrome and stuff, you know. And some people are like, oh, you're just a chameleon. You just want to fit in. No, you're not. No. Technically, you are fitting in because you're showing the people you're with for that moment or that season how they are, and they can change the way they behave or the way they are, or they can go on and not learn anything from you. But most likely, Heyokas will be in people's lives for a season. We won't ever be in long-term, well, I won't say ever, but in our healing path, we won't ever really be in long-term relationships. When we awaken, when we find our who we are in our path, we won't really, because we're there to heal many people just by walking down the road, saying hi to somebody, and you know, that's just our natural instinct. That's why we're here. We're here to heal. And it's a beautiful thing, you know. And sometimes, I just thought about this, you know, sometimes a way for people to slander you, guys, and you should watch out for this, is that you do mirror back people's behaviors. Because you're a Heyoka, you mirror it back, right? So what they're doing is they're going to say, oh yeah, this person's this way, when you're not. You're just there to show people who they are. So watch out for people trying to slander you and try to paint you as a wrong picture. No, and you don't have to tell them you're a Heyoka. You don't have to do any of that, guys. No. They'll know who you are, right? They'll know who you are. So just watch out for that. If somebody tries slandering you and you're feeling that, you're feeling some sort of guilt or shame. No, that's just a little bit of their energy. You're absorbing that energy, and it sticks with you sometimes. That's why when you go into hermit mode and you go off and you seclude yourself, right? You'll wash it out. Basically, you'll cleanse your energy, right? You know, like when I was with a covert narcissist for over 7 years, and her father and her brother, right, were both covert narcissists. All right, I didn't know this. This is a whole backstory to that. And anyways, after I got out of that relationship, God, oh my gosh, praise Jesus, man, because I got out of it, and I kept researching after I found out I was an empath, and then I found out about the empath narcissist paradigm relationship, right? And it took 4 years of healing, 4 years of healing, till finally it was like, you know what, I'm done healing. This is who I am. This is me. This is the 100%. This is who I am. All that stuff. It was like they were throwing confusion at me. It was like constant confusion. You know what I mean? They didn't want me to find out my identity. They didn't want me to find out who I really was, right? But that's what I had to learn. I had to learn all these things, and it strengthened me, right? But as an empath, as a Heyoka, guys, you'll find out that sometimes the other person's energy, the way they are, will sometimes rub off on you because you're there to reflect it back to them. So don't think for a moment, if you know you're Heyoka, that you're a narcissist, that you're that. No. You're just absorbing that and reflecting it back. It's like narcissists will project. You're projecting that back to the narcissist. Get it? It's like you're that mirror. You're literally that mirror. If somebody shines a flashlight on the mirror, that light from the mirror is going to come back in their direction. That's the best way for me to tell you what a Heyoka does. You know, so just think a Heyoka is one of the greatest healers you could ever have around you. Because you're going to get what you see. You're going to get what you see. Because you're supposed to learn something from that Heyoka. You're supposed to learn something from them about yourself. And, you know, when you come into somebody's life, you can either free them from whatever they're going through, because they're going to see what they're going through. They're going to see it through their own eyes. They can either learn to heal from that, or they can just shut down and keep going in their shell. And unfortunately, people will go in their shell because they're not ready yet to heal. So you'll walk away. It might take you might feel crunchy. You might feel some kind of way for a couple days or something. But just sit down, do your inventory, and you'll know who you are. You know, and be able to differentiate that. I promise you. I know it can be confusing. It can be up and down a roller coaster. But when you go along your path, you get to a certain point, you're able to heal faster. You're able to heal faster because you know exactly who you are. And you'll know whatever energies you're feeling is someone else's. We absorb people's energies. We're natural. We can walk through a crowd and we can, you know, just like vacuum it right in on us. But as you go along, you'll heal faster. You'll get better at it. Trust me. So just stay true to yourself. Stay true to God. All right? Because He'll be there for you. In those times where you have to be by yourself and heal from this, He'll be there for you. He will be there for you. And your angels will be there. I've literally had angels in my room just comfort me with their feathers, man. It was just like the best feeling in the world. The best feeling in the world. So anyways, God bless. Praise Jesus. I hope you like my art. Please, I appreciate any information or input you give me. I really appreciate it. And just know the stuff that you might have wrote off and you felt crunchy about it. You just like for me, when my art was stolen from me, my style, my art and all that, it hurt. It hurt really bad. And I wanted to shut myself off from that. Be like, oh, if they stole it, why can't it happen again? Like, you know what? No, what was, but today is today and on. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten to the point where I'll share my art You know, I'll share my art, inspire people, because that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to inspire people. You know, and I could have shut down. I could have done all that, but I forgave and I moved on. And now I celebrate my art. And I'm great at it again, you know? And that's another gift from God, is that. Because I told him, when I got off the streets from being homeless, I told him before just about 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I got into my apartment and stuff, I turned to God, I said, God, if I get an apartment, if I get my apartment, and it's a safe place, I'll do my art again and I'll share it with the world. I promised him that. And sure enough, like 3 weeks later, boom, in an apartment. What was I doing a month later? My art, back on it, doing canvases, man. And I did my first canvas. I did art before, but I didn't do it on a canvas before. So when I got in my place, I started doing canvases. I started doing it big time. You know what I mean? And those are the gifts that God gives you. I'm proof that God is real. I am proof today. You know, and I'm here with you now, sharing my life and what I've gone through, so that you can heal and you can become a better person, a better version of yourself. You get what I'm saying? All right, guys. God bless. Praise Jesus. Keep faith, guys. Fits you.